Good evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I'm just making a real quick video here. Now, because of the storm, I got to get up at 4:30 and take Amy and Alex to the airport to get them out of here before it gets really bad tomorrow. So this is the real deal. I don't see any reason why anybody would not say that, although, to be honest with you, I have read some information from other forecasters, some of whom I really admire and think are really good forecasters, but some of them are not really going with much. I saw one from I think somebody posted about Bernie Reno and from AccuWeather, and they said he was calling for 1 to 3. That seems really strange to me, but everybody's different. The models may be the same, but everybody interprets them differently. Everybody has different history. I'm 43. Bernie Reno's probably in his 50s. He's seen some storms that I haven't seen. Somebody who's 20-something years old doesn't remember the blizzard of '96. They weren't around for the blizzard of 1983. So, it all comes down to you have to go with what you think is going to happen, and that's what I'm going to do. So the analogs for this storm, I'm hearing a lot about 1958. 1958 was the storm, if you remember from a couple weeks ago, I told you. What was it? Morgantown, about, I don't know, 50-some miles, 60 miles outside of Philly, maybe a little bit more, 70. They saw 50 inches of snow in that storm. Now, I don't think anybody's going to see close to that. I mean, that's incredible. Now, what's going to happen is tomorrow, ballpark, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, I think, we'll start to see some precipitation come in with wave number 1. Here's the thing. If wave number 1 is strong, very strong, it may have an effect on wave number 2 in a negative way if you want snow. It could suppress it, or it could steal some of its energy. So if you're looking for a big snowstorm, you don't want wave number 1 to be overly powerful. You just want it to kind of be a weak little disturbance that comes up. Now, I agree with NBC 10. They're calling for sleet and freezing rain. Again, I don't know if it's going to start as early as they said. They're talking, I think I saw 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning, but I don't know. I think that's a little early. But who knows? Could come in earlier than thought. So I'll say noon to 2, somewhere around there. We'll start to see the sleet and freezing rain. And then it should transition mostly to sleet at that point, and then transition to sleet and snow, and then eventually overnight all snow. The icing shouldn't be a huge deal, but any ice is dangerous on the roads. I think that we're going to have a glaze at some point. I don't know if it's going to happen between 2 and 6 because the sun's pretty strong in March. The sun angle is about the same as it would be in October or maybe even late September. So it's going to be harder for it to freeze. And plus, temperature should be, getting some messages here, temperature should be above 32 for the most part. And then overnight, the temperature will not be above 32. It's going to be less than 32, so under 32, and no sun angle. So the snow that starts to fall is going to fall on a freezing ground, and that's going to lay down a nice pack of snow, which means that the snow that we do get during the day on Wednesday, that sun angle is not going to make that much of a difference, I don't think. You're already going to have a frozen ground. It's going to stick to snow. It's not like it's falling on concrete and melting on contact, so I think we'll avoid that. Also, the snow rate. The rate is going to be just like this last one. There's going to be some areas that see thunder snow. Some areas are going to see probably 1 to 3 inches per hour. The difference is this one's not moving quickly. This one's a slow mover. It's kind of blocked to go anywhere. It can't go north that quickly. There's confluence north, and there's also strong high pressure. So there's a block. It's not going to be able to escape out to the east. It's going to have trouble trying to cut in to the west. That's not going to happen. So the setup is really perfect. It's almost like a bowling alley. It's just going to come right up that bowling alley, and it's going to hit us pretty well. the models have been consistent about a big snowstorm, but they've waffled back and forth between um, how much snow is going to fall, and also you have to interpret that and decide how much you think is going to stick. There's a difference between snow falling and snow sticking. The amount of precipitation that's going to fall is going to be incredible. I mean, we're talking about, I'll get that later. We're talking about over 2 inches of liquid, possibly 3 in some places. That's unbelievable, especially you'd see that in the summer with a humid day with thunderstorms. You don't see that very often in the winter, although March, there's a lot of energy in March. It's getting to be spring. So bottom line is this: if this were an all snow event with 2 to 3 inches of liquid, that would probably be between 2 and 3 feet of snow, roundabout, because the ratios would be about 10 to 1. You'll say, I don't know, 20 to 30 inches, maybe even bump it up a little bit, 24 to 36. That's not going to happen here. We're going to lose some of it to sleet and freezing rain. That doesn't mean that we're not going to get a lot of snow. We are. We're going to get a lot of snow. I'm predicting now for the I-95 corridor 10 to 15 with pockets of 20. For most of the area, I think from probably Vineland west, that's where that will be, all the way to probably Reading. The Poconos maybe might see somewhere over 10. More of a coastal storm, but then right along the coastline to about Vineland, and that, this is a guess. I mean, can you really pinpoint exactly where the rain snow line is? No, nobody can, but that's my best guess. I think that area is going to see less, because you're going to see a lot of sleet and mostly sleet. I don't think the freezing rain is going to hang on all that long. It's very dry up in the atmosphere. The dew points are very low, so I don't think that freezing rain is going to be much of an issue. And when the snow comes down hard, it's going to pull cold air down from the atmosphere. That's going to help cool off the column and allow us to get some heavy snow. So down the shore, I don't know. Atlantic City, probably 4 to 6 with a lot of slop. Cape May, 2 to 4 with a lot of slop. The other thing about sleet compacts snow. So if you get a lot of sleet that comes down on top of snow, it'll crush it. So if you had, let's say, 6 inches of snow and then you get sleet on top of it, it's going to compress the snow, take away the air that's inside that snow and really mash it down. So if you had 6 inches and then you get 3 inches of sleet on top of that, you're probably going to have 3 inches. It's probably going to crush that snow. Maybe you'll have 4, 4.5. So it'll actually cut into your snow totals in 2 ways. One is it's not snow and it's not going to pile up like snow, fluffy. And also number 2, again, it compacts it. So that's an issue. Is there high bust potential with this? Absolutely. This is not an easy forecast at all. I'm saying 10 to 15. I could easily be wrong, and we could get, 15 plus, 20, 22. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Now, is it a low probability? Sure. It's not gonna. It's not every day you get 22-inch snowstorms. So I don't want to predict that, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody saw 22 somewhere. I don't know whose backyard that's going to be. I hope it's mine. But yeah, I mean, it's within the realm of possibility. And then you have Bernie Rayno saying 1 to 3. So is there bust potential on that side? Sure there is. I'm going in the middle. 10 to 15 is about the middle. So it's going to be a big storm. A couple of things that you got to know about the storm as well. Besides the snow, number 2, the winds are going to be strong. They're not going to be as strong as some of the earlier nor'easters. Some of those earlier nor'easters, we saw wind blowing at 70 miles an hour in some places. In Massachusetts somewhere, they had a 91-mile-an-hour wind gust. I think at times we'll see blizzard conditions along the Philadelphia area, I-95. But I don't think we're going to have a true blizzard. I don't think the winds are going to be strong enough. But we'll have winds 20 to 30 miles an hour. Gusts along the sure will be more, maybe 50, 55, maybe 60. It's going to be really low pressure. It's going to be like probably about a 985 or a 980 low. Anything really sub 990 is very strong. So it's getting to be into that really strong area. Onshore flow this time, so coastal flooding should be worse, unfortunately. Um, we've had a lot of nor'easters. We had a lot of rain. We've had a lot of wind. There are trees that are very precarious right now. They've been battered. We're going to get heavy wet snow. It's going to cling to the trees. It's going to cling to power lines, and I expect widespread power outages. To be honest, when you have the weakening that we've had of those trees, how much more can they withstand? And this snow's going to be heavy, just like that last storm on March 7th. This stuff's not going to be light. It's going to be very heavy, wet snow. You couple that, you start weighing down these trees that are weak, and you get that heaviness, you get the wind, and that's a recipe for trees going down or splitting. So widespread power outages. If the sleet tomorrow quickly changes over to snow and the track stays the same, I will bust low. We will probably see over 15 inches of snow. I think the sleet's going to hang on a little bit longer than that, so that's why I'm cutting it down to 10 to 15. The model runs tonight. I'm not going to see them. I'm going to bed because I got to get up at 4:30 to take them to the airport, so there's no way I'm staying up for that. But I'll post tomorrow morning. But this is the real deal. This is going to be a big deal for us. A lot of snow, a lot of blowing, and maybe some drifting, power outages, coastal flooding, everything that you would expect with a nor'easter. It's a slow-moving storm. If you get 15 inches of wet snow and then or more, if it does go higher than that, expect a state of emergency. They'll probably shut down major highways like I-95 and the Blue Route for non-essential personnel. If everything goes the way it looks right now, obviously there'll be no school on Thursday or Wednesday rather. That's almost 100% right there. I would be very shocked if there was school on Thursday because the snow should linger into very early Thursday morning, maybe 5, 6 o'clock. Even if it ends at midnight, you got to move a lot of snow. So and there are going to be power outages. So there could be a lot of school closings on Thursday. And again, Friday could be too. It depends on how quickly they could clean everything up and get power back in places. So for some kids, they might not go to school the rest of this week after tomorrow. So thanks for everything. Thank you for coming to the page. Thank you, Dory, for all of your posts and keeping everybody up to date when I couldn't. And let's see how this plays out. I'm working tomorrow full day. I'm going to be away from Facebook for most of the day. I'll try to check in maybe at lunch and post something. But here we go. Just jump on the train. It's going to be a wild ride, that's for sure. Oh, by the way, thundersnow probable in some places. You never can pinpoint where that's going to be, but somebody will see thundersnow. For those of you in New York, you are going to get some snow. You're not going to get 10 to 15, I don't think. It might be a little bit too far. You might be a little too far north. Long Island, same thing. I would say 3 to 6 in those areas. But, hey, again, little bump north, and that changes things dramatically. So, thanks again. I will talk to you soon.